What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Valdeezy, back at it again with another one for you guys. Just want to say welcome. Thank you for showing up to all those. Having an awesome day. Want to be short and sweet. Real quick, I'll be doing a video of 6 signs you're burnt out, not lazy by Psych to Go. Shout out to them again. Just from the last video I did of them, I love the content, so I want to do another video, and this time live reaction because I've never seen this video. So probably want to let it go, play through. I'm not an expert on this subject or anything like that, but I will probably share my opinion, and then we can just kind of go from there. Other than that, once again, your boy Valdeezy. Let's get this show on the road. And please feel free if you got any comments, concerns, or anything like that, just drop it in the chat. I'm always welcome to answer any questions and or concerns. And then definitely want to hear your stories if you have any. But you got to make sure they're good.
Why does it seem like you spend most of your time in bed, lying down and not doing much lately? Are you someone who easily gets tired and doesn't feel like doing anything? Do you label this kind of behavior as mere laziness and nothing more? There's actually a lot of overlap between laziness and burnout that can make it difficult to differentiate between the two. Burnout is a negative state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive stress and inability to cope with it. And as of 2010, a survey reported that approximately 75% of adults in the United States alone have experienced symptoms of burnout, with over 40% of cases being more severe. Now, more than ever, it's become imperative to educate and better understand the nature of burnout. So with that said, here are 6 telltale signs that what you're experiencing right now isn't actually laziness, but burnout. Number 1, you feel disconnected from everything. Are you going through the motions of every day as if on autopilot? Is there a persistent feeling of being detached from your own self? If you're suffering from burnout, one of the things you might be experiencing, but don't quite realize or understand, is depersonalization. People experiencing depersonalization, most commonly those struggling with trauma, report feeling a strange sort of emotional numbness or emptiness, as if they were watching life from outside of themselves. They don't feel like themselves anymore. They don't feel engaged by anything, and they constantly struggle with the overwhelming sense of helplessness and inability to take back control of their lives. Number 2, you used to be motivated. Laziness is a character trait, and character traits tend to remain stable over time. A lazy person doesn't ever feel like exerting effort or applying themselves to things. But if you used to be self-motivated and high-achieving, often excelling in certain areas, and have only recently become exhausted, apathetic, and unmotivated, then it's more likely that you're suffering from burnout and not laziness like most people would think.
So I'm gonna pause it right here and then just kind of go over some of the parts that we did see. The title itself I found really interesting. 6 signs you're burnt out and you're not lazy. Because I know it's been times that I felt like I've been working nonstop because I do IT, right? And I don't know if you ever worked in the IT field. You can be at a point to where you got several projects going on to where you got to go ahead and deliver 100 laptops. You got to touch each person, make sure their profile's personalized, and then all that stuff. And then by the time you get home, you're just so tired. But you still need to eat, right? It's best practice to go ahead, cook, make sure you got some vegetables to go along with your meat. If you eat meat, if you don't, you can be vegan, do Beyond Meat. Not your boy, Valdeezy. I'm getting me a juicy steak. But other than that, yeah, when you don't find yourself cooking and maybe you go out, buy fast food, whatever, you just be like, sometimes, I know me, I can beat myself up like, dude, you lazy. Take your ass in that kitchen, throw up that pan and get to cooking or something. And then I guess you don't realize that you're not necessarily lazy or a flaw, but you may not have the energy to cook to that perfection that you need, whatever the case may be. But so far, I am enjoying this. Don't beat me up for pausing this, or if you want to fight. I got no, I don't got hands. Yeah, yeah, don't beat me up. But let's go ahead and continue.
Number 3, you used to be passionate. A clear difference between someone who's burnt out and someone who's lazy is that the former used to have things they were passionate about, but may now be struggling to find interest or enjoyment in anymore. Whether it's a talent, a sport, or just your academic or professional performance in general, burnout can make it hard for you to do the things you once loved or felt passionate about. You might even come to hate or resent it because of how much you overworked yourself and pushed yourself to the brink because of it. Ouch.
Facts.
Number 4, you've become moody and irritable. Do you suddenly find yourself snappy and easily irritated? Do you often feel emotionally out of control nowadays and don't know why? Moodiness and irritability are common but often overlooked signs of burnout. So if you start to have trouble controlling your emotions, especially when it never used to be a problem for you, this might be the reason why. Lazy people, on the other hand, are a stark contrast to this, because they're often very relaxed, laid back, placid, and unaffected by things. Number 5, you've neglected your self-care. One of the most distressing warning signs that someone may be emotionally and physically burnt out is if you start neglecting your self-care and socially withdraw from others. There are concerning changes in your eating and or sleeping patterns.
Let's pause it right there and then I'm continue. Um, Thank you once again for those who are watching live and so forth. Appreciate you. Just leave a comment if you have any questions, concerns, or want to share your story. Definitely can drop a link as well if you want to talk and discuss. Story time. I want to share a story at back in the day when I used to work at Best Buy. I used to scan price tags. Like a scanner gun, and then you get your morning sales and stuff like that, and you got to change the price. Like, say for instance, a TV was on sale for $300. We moved that TV to $259, whatever. So at one point, I was a manager. And I was putting prices on a bunch of peg hooks. They like little sharp little things that sit here. Anyway, I think it was like the day before Black Friday, which is horrible. Nobody wants to work at Black Friday, right? And I'm doing a whole row of like HDMI cables, VGA cables, all type of different cables, whatever. And it's like 4 a.m. because we got to get early to satisfy the customer. Man, forget the customer, but the customer's always right. So yeah, so I'm putting the labels on each peg hook, and I'm like dead tired. Next thing you know, I pass out and just crash straight into all the peg hooks. Like, oh my God, you would have thought that landing into a sticky bush was painful, but no, peg hooks is painful. Um, Anybody who's selling peg hooks, let me know. I'll be your spokesman. I got you. And no scars to show. But anyway, I digress. Let's start the video and then we just go from there. Appreciate y'all listening to my nonsense.
You stop making an effort to groom yourself or look good, and you tend to spend most of your time by yourself doing nothing, because you're so easily exhausted by even the simplest of tasks. The difference between being burnt out and laziness are starkly in the fact that you weren't always this way. And number 6, these changes happened gradually. Finally, but perhaps most importantly, something you should know about burnout is that it develops in stages. So all of the points mentioned before, losing interest and motivation, especially in things we used to love, feeling detached from yourself and disconnected from everything around you, socially withdrawing and neglecting your self-care, won't just happen overnight. Studies show that there are actually 5 major stages of burnout, each with increasing degrees of severity. The honeymoon phase, the onset of stress, chronic stress, burnout, and habitual burnout.
I like chronic.
Many people begin to experience symptoms as early as the second phase, when there is still a moderate amount of stress, but optimism, interest, motivation, and performance may already start declining. And by the time you reach the 5th and final stage, burnout has already become so embedded in your life that the persistent mental and physical fatigue become more intense and harder to treat, making you more vulnerable to developing depression and anxiety. Spotting the signs of burnout early makes it all the more easier for you to get help and recover from it. That's why it's so important to raise awareness about burnout, instead of simply dismissing it as laziness. like most people tend to do. So if you or anyone you know may be suffering from mental or emotional burnout, please don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health care professional today and talk to them about it.
Facts.
If you find this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below with your thoughts, experiences, and suggestions, and share it with those out there battling the haze of burnout. Don't forget to subscribe to Sick to Go and hit the notification bell for more new videos. And as always, thanks for watching.
Get it, get it, get it, get it.
Do you want to grow?
Well, that was pretty cool. Once again, shout out to all my viewers and stuff for watching. Forgive me, but I'm at a rant on a random note because it's something I recently did and I definitely want to share with you guys. Before I go into that, I thought Psych to Go did an excellent job on covering the 6 signs that you're burnt out and not lazy. Because I know as humans, we have a tendency to beat up on ourselves. And once again, I'm no expert here, but I can speak from my personal experience. I definitely beat myself up on just thoughts and stuff. Just kind of thinking I'm lazy and stuff like that, even though I'm trying to daily push on and move forward. And what's the saying? Usually you're your own worst critic. I'm a firm believer of that, right? But overall, sometimes you just got to realize the signs, especially like what they show in the video, that maybe you are burnt out. And then maybe you need to take a step back